Hi everyone. Special report, that is progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, the Gender Snapshot 2020. Yes. So let's discuss about it. Its finding. So this report is, first of all, let me show you. You can see here, progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, the Gender Snapshot 2020. So this is prepared by this UN Women, that is United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. This publication is the latest installment in the annual series jointly produced by the UN Women and UNDESA, and this report provides a comprehensive analysis of gender equality progress across all the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So you have to remember that this report being prepared by UN Women and UNDESA jointly, and it is a comprehensive analysis of gender equality progress across those 17 Sustainable Development Goals been fixed in 2015 by UN. Now we are in 2020. So halfway to the end point of the 2030 agenda for the sustainable development, the world is failing to achieve the gender equality, making it an increasingly distant goal. If current trend continue, more than 340 million women and girls will still live in extreme poverty by 2030, and close to 1 in 4 will experience moderate or severe food insecurity. Growing vulnerability brought on by human-induced climate change is likely to worsen this outlook. As many as 236 million more women and girls will be food insecure under a worst-case climate scenario. So what actually it means that the gender equality is not actually achieved, although we have already covered halfway from 2015 to now 2023. So we have to achieve the gender equality by 2030. So it seems like a kind of impossible task, although we can handle it. But if we compare current analysis, it is mentioned that more than 340 million women and girls are still living extreme poverty by 2030. If the current trend is or current progress, if you look at the current progress, then we have to say that 340 million women and girls will be living in extreme poverty by 2030. So this totally means a failure, right? So first, here we are using the term gender equality. Gender equality means girls, especially we are talking about women. So what is gender equality? Gender equality refers to the equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of all individuals, regardless of their gender. It involves ensuring that women and men have the same access to resources, education, employment, and decision-making process. So no man and woman difference, all are same towards the decision-making processes or access to all the resources, education, employment, right? Now, what are the findings of this report? As this report is prepared as part of SDGs goals, so we will look at through this goals specifically. You know, SDG 1 is no poverty. So means we have to target zero poverty to achieve zero poverty by 2030. Now, let's see what this report says about this SDG 1. If the current trends continue, over 340 million women and girls, that is about 8% of the female population, will live in extreme poverty by 2030. Then SDG 2, zero hunger. 1 in 4 experiencing food insecurity. So older women face higher rates of poverty and violence than the older men, with many lacking access to pensions. See, so first of all, it says that food insecurity is there. 1 in 4 is experiencing food insecurity, and if we talk about specifically older women, they are facing higher rates of poverty and violence than older men. Means inequality is there, right? And they are those older women not. Sorry for the network problem. Let me share the screen again. Okay. Yeah. So what we have seen that violence, in the case of violence, no country is within reach of eradicating intimate partner violence. The number of women and girls in conflict affected risen significantly. And political aspects, gender disparities persist in power and leadership roles. This means that very few women are there in political powers or political position. Then SDG 5, gender equality. We have seen no poverty, zero hunger. Now SDG 5, gender equality. Women spend 2.3 more hours per day on unpaid care and domestic work than men. See, this data are very important if you are going to appear for the APSC mains or UPSC mains, because if you code this data, then obviously that is going to be a very impactful answer, may draw more numbers than the others. So see, gender equality means women are spending 2.3 more hours per day and on unpaid care. I mean, they are not being paid for those 2.3 more hours than men. Then SDG 13 is climate action. Climate change may push about 158 million more women and girls into poverty by mid-century. Climate change is actually impacting our earth in a very negative way. And obviously, we humans are responsible for this, right? We are not looking after the sustainable kind of development, although currently we are taking these things, but somehow previous decades or like this means we did not take care of these things. That's why climate change is going on rapidly, infecting the earth's atmosphere and our environment, right? So because of this climate change, 158 million more women and girls are pushing towards poverty by mid-century, right? So in this case, number is more than men. What's number? Women's number. Now you can ask me that how it is possible, because due to the climate change, the the ocean temperature is increasing, drought is happening. So this means what? Women has to do a lot of domestic work and other works than men. And if they lose those works, then what happens? They have to actually they have been pushed towards that poverty. So climate change impact on women will be more than that man's counterpart. Then if we see the progress on SDG 5, gender equality is significantly off track, with only 2 indicators nearing the target. Finance aspect, an additional $360 billion per year is needed to achieve the gender equality and women's empowerment across the global goals. Now, wage gap is there. The labor and earnings gap remains persistently high. For each dollar men earn in labor income globally, women earn only 51 cents. See, wage gap is also there. I mean, if a man is earning suppose 100 rupees, then in case of rupees, then a woman is earning only 51% of that, or 51 rupees, you can say, right? So the wage gap is also there. Financial aspect means we need more $360 billion per year to achieve the gender equality. So now persistent challenges, if we talk about that, then challenges include food insecurity due to the climate change. I already told you climate change means what? Ocean temperature is increasing, then drought is happening. So less productivity is there. Less productivity, those women who are working in some farming or you can say in some farms or some kind of crops production or this activities, I mean this agriculture related activity, then those things are now going to be comparatively production than because of this climate change. So this is pushing the women towards more poverty. So because of this, food insecurity is happening, right? So we have to say that insufficient effort to combat intimate partner violence is also there. Means partner violence is, we can say domestic violences are increasing day by day if we analyze the report. Then rising conflict affected context for women and women and girls. A significant number of girls and young women out of the school, because many girls actually drop out that school because of the lack of infrastructure, no proper toilet facilities there. Then persistent earning gaps between men and women in the labor force. So we have just seen that the wage gap is there, and that the difference is just you can say 451% means 49 different percent is difference is there between men and women wage. So these are the challenges for underrepresentation of women in higher education. We have to go through one more report. We'll go through it, but let me tell you that in case of higher education, women's actually joining less in comparison to men. If you go through the STEM report also, science, technology, engineering, and medicine, then you can see that in medicine it's okay, but in the science, higher research positions or higher research education, that number of women is comparatively lesser than the men. So we can see the inequality everywhere if we compare male and woman achievement, right? So what are the recommendations? The report calls for greater collaboration, funding, and policy actions to address gender disparities, and emphasizes that failing to prioritize the gender equality could jeopardize the entire 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Addressing gender gaps in agri-food system can reduce food insecurity and boost global GDP by nearly $1 trillion. So the report says that if we don't take any proactive action now, then we are certainly going to fail our agenda of fulfilling those sustainable development goals by 2030. So for that, we have to reduce these disparities, and for that, the means the gender gaps has to be addressed in the agri-food system, and that way we can reduce the food insecurity. See, if poverty is being reduced, then automatically you can see the lesser in the number of the domestic violence also. And if that food insecurity is reduced and that poverty is reduced, then women earnings are happening comparatively same as that of men, then that will also boost the global GDP. And it reports say that this boosting of global GDP by nearly 1 trillion, right? So these are the recommendation of this progress on the sustainable development goals, the gender snapshot 2020. I hope I made it clear each and every points of this discussion to you. If still any confusion exists, we can discuss in the comment section. Thank you. Bye-bye.